weekly bite-sized video series about all things visual communication. Whether it be infographics, motion graphics, interactive content, you name it, we're going to be talking about the rules of how to create successful projects and anything about what makes visual communication unique. To really kick off this series, I think we should start with the basics. What the heck is visual communication? Our clients often ask us that because we consider ourselves a visual communication agency, not a standard design agency. That's because we really like to focus on telling your story through visual content. Some people say visual storytelling, but we personally believe that visual storytelling is an offset of visual communication or a product of visual communication. In fact, there are two main products of visual communication: visual storytelling and information visualization. Visual storytelling is about providing a full narrative through visual content, where you're really taking somebody through a beginning, middle, and end. Information visualization is about presenting the information in a visual way without providing any conclusions, and instead letting the viewer come to their own conclusion. But what is visual communication in the first place? Visual communication graphically represents information to efficiently and effectively create meaning. Now here's the real key with visual communication. When necessary, limited text is used to explicate the meaning. What we mean by that is you shouldn't have to rely on the text to understand the visual. Instead, the visual should always speak louder than words. So let's think about an example. Think about the caution wet floor sign. That sign on its own, without the words caution wet floor, lets you know immediately you could slip, you could break your back, you could hurt yourself really bad if you go across that floor that's wet. Just by looking at the image, you know that. You don't have to read the words caution wet floor to understand. That's visual communication. Now, when you combine that very good icon that ends up being a universal image, and you combine that universal image with short form text like caution wet floor, you actually can increase comprehension by 89%. And this is why visual communication is so powerful. Infographics take universal iconography and combine that iconography to tell a story or to get information across. Motion graphics that are produced very well do the exact same thing. Any type of visual communication that you're focusing on should rely entirely on telling the story with visuals first and letting the text be the afterthought. So to test that out, try covering up the text on your next piece of visual content and see if you can fully understand it, or see if your neighbor can. If they can, you've created a quality piece of visual communication.